Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Publicly Buzzed Live. Thank you all for being here on a Thursday night. Took Tuesday night off. It's been a minute since you actually seen me anyways. I got Dan with me here tonight as well. We're going to be going over this insane new information coming out in the Delphi case. Richard Allen, of course, who's been held in a maximum security prison for the longest time now. There's some new information coming out from his defense team, granted, that we're going to be going over here today. I know everybody's already been seeing this in the news cycle, but holy shit. Richard Allen, of course, arrested in October of 2022, 5 years after the vicious murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. And yeah, there is no DNA they have no DNA linking Richard Allen there right now. The main thing that is connecting Richard Allen is a shell casing, basically. Actually, an unspent bullet is what's locking him into this currently, that the defense team is also trying to get thrown out. There was a search that was actually done on his home that they were saying should not have been done because of some more BS that was passed along to the judge to get them to sign off on this. There's a lot going on, and that's not even getting into the insane Odinism aspect of this. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for coming in Publicly Buzzed Live on the air and joining me, none other than my brother Dan. What's up, dude?
Well, hello, everyone.
Dan is in the house. What's up, brother? Glad you could be here, man.
Yep. On the usual Thursday night. I'm not going to be here next week, but
that's
here
right.
This week.
That is right. Dan will be out of action. We'll be out of action next Thursday, but yeah, and he's going to be here for Feral Friday tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll be on Feral Friday next week too. So we'll
let's see what's
that one Thursday.
What's going on for next Thursday? I might have to see if I can get somebody come in here and fill your spot. Got Bob Motto coming here that one Thursday that you had to take off.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll have to see what's going on. Maybe we get Jay in here. Everybody hanging out tonight. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate the hell out of it. Yeah, everybody keeping up with this right now. Holy shit. Dan, have you been reading through this? I know I've been sending you a lot of stuff.
I haven't read through the document, but yeah, I've watched some stuff.
Court TV's been all over it.
Yeah. Watched some stuff, read a couple things, but I didn't read really any of the documents that dropped. But this is insane. This shit is out of control. Like, it's one of the wildest things I've ever seen. Well, definitely since we've been covering true crime on YouTube. It's probably the wildest thing I've seen.
Yeah, I thought that we had maybe seen the wildest stuff with some of that Koberger stuff that was coming out. That's not even this.
Yeah, this is
completely
like
different level.
Movie stuff or TV show stuff.
Exactly.
This is crazy.
If anybody has seen the first season of True Detective, this is the closest thing to that it could honestly possibly be.
Yeah.
Even the way they're describing the crime scene in graphic detail. We're not going to be going into great detail. There is going to be some trigger warnings on the show per usual, just because of the violent nature of what we are discussing, but we're not going to go into super graphic detail of what they are discussing with the actual crime scene, but it was insane. I do have some pictures that I'm going to be showing that they're renderings. They're not actual crime scene photos, but of kind of the positioning that the girls would have had and the way that they would have had these limbs on them here tonight. So again, it's just the subject matter in general that is real sensitive, folks. So just be wary of that. I've got a couple of things I want to show from Court TV where they've been all over this. But yeah, I mean, even if you don't get into the crazy, sensationalized Odinism aspect of this, Dan, there's still some things that make you wonder if they can actually convict Richard Allen. I mean, it's been a long ass time. And again, what I was talking about with the only thing they really have is the unspent bullet.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not, what do they have? The reasonable doubt could already kind of be established. They went a wild direction with it. But I'm sure they could have taken a different angle and, still had reasonable doubt because there's no evidence that really links them except for that bullet. Right.
Exactly.
And that could have, why would the bullet be there? It is,
I did hear. Did you?
But
I
with
heard
no DNA, there's nothing like truly linking him, specifically to the.
And I do agree with that. Somebody did have a good theory. I don't know if I saw this or heard this. I've been all over Twitter. Again, I've been knee deep in this for the last 2 days. But somebody said that, essentially, if you do think about the possibility of the way he controlled these girls, if somebody or multiple people, however this happened, was controlling these girls with a firearm, and they didn't actually have to kill the girls. The fear with the firearm alone would be enough to get them to wherever they would want them to be ending up.
Yeah.
Essentially what I'm saying. But once you actually get to that location, basically what this person was saying was, if they've already loaded the bullet into the chamber and then they actually literally take the bullet, unspent the bullet out right then and there into the ground, that could be maybe a possibility of how that could have happened from the actual killers.
Yeah. Now, how solid is the science behind? I know like they can determine if a bullet was shot from a specific gun, but if it hasn't been shot and it's just I guess the casing has been, like, how does that work? How do they actually match up the casing or in this case, an unspent bullet to the gun? Because that seems like that'd be pretty tough to do.
I agree. And the only thing they really have right now from anything that I'm reading is that they have put that bullet through the gun that they got from Richard Allen's residence when they actually did the search. So they've put that bullet through the gun that they picked up. I have it written down here which gun it is, and I'm not a major gun person. I have a gun, but maybe you know how to say this better, Dan. The Sig Sauer P226.
Yeah, they just call it a Sig. But yeah,
Sig, that they did put the bullet
40
through.
caliber, I believe, wasn't it?
I believe so. And they did put this bullet through his actual gun. That's the hardest evidence that we have, which is shit. There's no DNA whatsoever. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I do want to backtrack just here for a second because I see Dara Johnson is hanging out here tonight. Welcome back, Dara. I haven't seen you in a minute. I was hanging out on Twitter earlier saying you'd be here. Thank you. And she is what is that, an anniversary for 4 months?
Oh, yeah.
Happy anniversary.
4 months. Wow.
Love it. Love it. Thank you all so much for being here and also gifting out, holy shit, 5 memberships. Dara, you're unbelievable. Thank you. Mandy grabbing one of those. Lil Love, Joanne, June, and Dawn. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the party. Let me hit you with one of these bad boys right here. Thank y'all so much.
Dara like Sarah coming through.
Dara like Sarah. Dara like Sarah. We ain't messing around, folks. Thank you very much. Everybody, real quick, Tuesday night, members only. It's going to be actually going down. I'm going to show you the thumbnail before we even leave here tonight. It's going to be an awesome-ass show. It's a members only show, though. Anybody that is not familiar, it was going to be this Tuesday. I wanted to take an extra week to make sure I had all of my ducks in a row, and I think it's going to be a banger. So again, everybody that just got membered up, you guys are in. And I'm just going to say, if you're not a member, you're going to want to be a member because the shows that I'm going to start doing, it's going to be a new series that I'm going to be doing on Tuesday, talking about killers that most likely that you've never heard of before. That whichever killer that I pick, you won't be able to see that for the following week. So you'll have to wait a whole extra week to get an edited version. That live, again, is going to be just specific to the members. So you're going to want to get in on that. And then let me go down here again. I think that I see Shannon, Jay hanging out. Holly Berry, thank y'all so much. Austin, everybody, thank you so much. Documenting Austin is going to be hanging out here tomorrow for Feral Friday. Make sure you're following him on YouTube and Twitter as well. What a house. Art with Viv, happy fucking birthday. Wow, so much going on here. I'm just trying to get through to make sure. And right here, Strychnine, 7 months. Whoa, holy shit, how is that even possible?
Man, yeah, that's a long time. It's an OG.
7 months? Holy shit.
Austin Raines also with the 7 months.
Wow. Debbie, 3 months. Wow.
Real OGs in the
Holy
house. Stuck
crap.
with us for a long time through all of our bullshit.
Wow. Like, that actually blew my mind seeing 7 months there. Holy shit, that's amazing.
I actually wonder what mine is. I haven't done one in a while.
Holy crap. And oh man, Debbie going to gift one out too here. Keystone Pirate, what is going on? My meme man. Pagan Ways, how appropriate. Pagan Ways has been gifted a membership here tonight as we're going to be talking about some insanity. And welcome, Pagan Ways. Thank you so much for being in here. Appreciate it. 6 months.
They've been here longer than me. Mine's 6 months.
Ricky Cougarback, 6 months. My God. Mandy, 7 months, almost a pregnancy. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Wow. Shelly, thank you very much. Love you guys. Seriously. Unbelievable. But yeah, this whole thing, as soon as this doc came out again, Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, when Bob was going absolutely nuts, he was on Jay's stream. Did you get to watch any of that one?
Yeah, I did a little bit, yeah.
That actually, I've watched a lot of Court TV. I've listened to Bob's podcast that he dropped yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
I need to listen to that. I haven't listened to his podcast.
Him and Allie, him and his wife broke it the fuck down.
Yeah.
And there's still so much that you could talk about for hours and hours, but I still think the original...
A lot of episodes on Delphi?
They have a few. They have a kind of like an initial opener that was done back in I think November of 2022. I actually listened to that as well, and then they have 2 parts of the new stuff.
Gotcha.
And yeah, man. Even after everything said, I think that Bob breaking it down on Jay's show was the best I've seen.
Yeah.
It was
Bob always kills it, man. He's so good with this stuff. Like,
it was awesome.
He's good at being on camera. He's good at talking. He's good at breaking down legal documents. At being a lawyer, of course. Like, he's perfect for it.
He's unbelievable, man. But yeah, that's what really. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. He's talked to us about Delphi before on this show. Even I've never been fully into Delphi. I'm saying that, no disrespect to the case whatsoever. To the case whatsoever. It's just there's a lot going on. Again, we both work regular jobs. You kind of almost have to pick and choose what you do cover. At least we do in this true crime community, at least for now. But, I wasn't all the way in on this one for no particular reason. But, holy shit, Bob.
Well, this really grabbed our attention.
This one grabbed us. Hook, line, and sinker.
All of a sudden, it's gone crazy. I mean.
And, I really can't get it. And what the thing is, I can't get enough of wanting to know what's actually going on. And this all comes back to the actual. Now, what are we talking about here? The victims, Abby Williams and Libby German, guys. These 2 innocent young girls that went out for a walk on an unusually warm day in February, and they never made it back home. A search team was sent out, and the next day they're found in, again, what we're learning now seems to be possibly ritualistic positioning. Their bodies were repositioned after their deaths in very disturbing ways. Now, this is something I'm going to show.
Even without the ritualistic stuff, like the sticks and the placement, like because their bodies were kind of placed oddly, and then the sticks on top. What is the significance of putting the clothes on Abby?
Right.
Like, that's weird to me. Like, what's the purpose? Even if it wasn't ritualistic, I can't think of like what that purpose is. That's odd to me.
Yeah, Libby's completely naked, and then you have her clothes, and then I read today 2 bras. Abby had 2 bras on. But yeah, putting the clothes, it's very strange. Now, the picture I'm about to show right now, again, trigger warning, it's disturbing. It's not violent in any way, but it is depicting what potentially might be the scene, guys. And the reason I'm going to show this is because this is
interpretation from the document.
I don't think so. This is something completely different. The person, I literally just seen this before we went on the air. This is from Twitter. This is from somebody that thinks that they've actually seen the scene. Again, this is just a drawing. There's no blood, there's no gore, but they think that this is more closely to what the scene is detailing in the new documents. I'm just going to show it.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't seen this.
Yeah, this has not been seen by anybody, but on Twitter, hold on, let me actually shout out who posted this, because somebody sent to me.
And they're saying they've seen the crime scene, like they saw what it really looked like.
He thinks that the person who drew this probably did see the scene. I'm actually going to play what he says. I'm just going to play what he says as well, because it is kind of interesting. You can take this for what you want, folks. Let me just make sure it's working.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of low. Is it low on your end? Oh, never mind. I think it was just him.
I'm going to show you a picture. Someone sent it to me, and I think it's a much better illustration than the one that Court TV did. The one that Court TV did had Abby's hands out like this. No, they were in like this. And
that is how they explain
the sizes and positioning of the sticks weren't quite right. What I'm going to show you next is a drawing done by someone that I believe sketched the scene. I believe this person was on the scene, saw it, and sketched it. A rough sketch of what it looked like. I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, now you're looking at it. Now, if you notice, Abby is on the other side than the other picture. On the other picture, she's over here. Now, I want to point out a couple of things. Remember that great big long stick that they had in the Court TV one? It looks to me like it was actually a little bit shorter and was laying underneath these two sticks that form a V.
I saw only a bit of the clip that we got there.
It makes me want to, like, I want to deep dive into Odinism and like symbols and things just to see. Like, has anybody done that? Has anybody found any symbols that look similar to like what we're seeing here?
So there's been a few people that's been looking at that stuff. I haven't deep dived it myself yet at all.
Yeah.
But that would be a cool thing to do, just because I just want to make sure I'm not having anything else crazy popping up here before. But yeah, that would be a great thing to do. But Core TV is kind of, and I think somebody pointed this out on Twitter, that Core TV actually took, they construed one of the runes and that they were kind of showing, because they're talking about the F that was F that was left on the tree. I saw somebody on Twitter saying that they got that wrong. Probably Russian, trying to figure out what's going on. I did look up some runes myself. Just trying to look up a little bit of this again. That would not be a bad idea though, to try to just kind of almost get like, you know,
I want to find some, because the position, the way their bodies are placed is on purpose.
100%.
It seems like. So where does that come from? That has to be a
Right.
symbol somewhere, or it has some significance or meaning, right?
Yeah, there was something
What
out
would
to that,
that
to the way that was it? I think it was the way Libby's leg. No, wait a minute. I have to look at it again. Whichever one, the one with had the legs crossed, or the leg that was kind of underneath. No, Abby. So yeah, let me pull up the one that Court TV did, because they had a different one. So this is Court TV's. So Court TV. So the way that she's positioned here, Abby, with the leg like this, there is some pictures. Apparently, Odin, you know, would hang upside. This is in the lore, or whatever. Would hang upside down from a tree, in that position, one leg straight with the other leg hanging down, you know, almost behind, or you know, in that figure four type position, or whatever the fuck you want to call it there. So that's almost kind of from that comes from it. Again, you know, don't take any of this from me verbatim. I don't know shit about Odinism, guys. I've just kind of been getting into it here recently, like the rest of us, I'm sure. Just kind of looking through the chat here real quick. See if anybody has any other information. I have been, Shannon. I've been going in on it.
So they also had them flipped. The other depiction had.
That's what they think, and I might, you know, again, hell, I might have, because I want more from the other guy there. I need to find that guy's podcast, maybe see exactly why he thinks that would be the true depiction. And I'm guessing it's because in the actual documentation, the way they're describing it,
right?
But he's going as far to say that he thinks that whoever drew this seen the scene. So
yeah,
that seems like a lot.
Yeah, that's actually coming into this. That's something I was going to bring up. Is I'd like to see. I don't want to see the crime scene photos, but I'd like to see somebody do a depiction of, you know, from the crime scene photo, like an accurate one, so we know exactly what it kind of looked like. Because I mean, you look at something like this, and interpretation, you know, some details could be wrong. Like some, you know, like the other guy said, the stick that's going across the chest there on Libby,
right, was
probably a lot shorter. I mean, that could be significant if you're looking up symbols and things and trying to kind of figure out what this means. Absolutely.
And it does seem like the Court TV is taking, you know, a little bit, taking some liberties themselves in the way they're kind of depicting some of this, and maybe doing it a little too fast, because this was interesting. I think you saw this as well. There was an expert on Court TV that was talking about how she has actually seen what the F looked more like. Did you see that? I made a post earlier on Twitter.
Yeah.
This is what they think was what was actually depicted on the tree, you know.
And I mean, that could be, I mean, it looks like an F, you can see it, but that could
does it look like an F?
Right? Or
does it look like an F because we've heard that?
Right. I mean, it does, it kind of just looks like a bunch of spots, like blood splatter. I mean, it just happens to come into that shape. I mean, I don't, you know, it's hard to tell if that's something that's been like purposely drawn that way. You know what I mean? Like if for example, you superimpose that on top of the tree, and that's what it looked like. And then that brings up another thing. Like, they didn't take the bark or nothing for evidence. Like, why did they not take any of that? And they did do a sample of this, though, the blood from this tree, and I think it was Abby's, I believe. And but they didn't take the bark itself.
Yeah, they didn't take the bark itself. Yeah, so they don't take the bark itself. They don't even take. I mean, I would think cut the tree down and take that portion of the tree, maybe even, but at least the bark. Yeah. So they don't do that either. They don't even take the limbs that were placed over these poor girls.
Yeah.
They send
that's
people
insane.
back out later when they start to kind of put this Odinism thing together. The police themselves. Now, here's what's crazy to me. We can debate about this all day. I've done it all day on Twitter, and I can have my mind changed. But what is interesting to me is one of the biggest parts about this is that the initial Odinism stuff was being found by police officers who would later pass that on to the prosecutor, to their supervisors, and they chose not to include that. So you have 5 years from 2017 to 2022 in October when they decided to look back into Richard Allen after 5 years of him even coming in and saying, "Hey, I was in the area." What's been going on in that point of time? Did they just completely abandon the Odinism? I'm having trouble with that angle altogether in that time period. Right. And then
and why?
The defense team is arguing that they're still fighting for discovery. There's so much that they're having to dig through, and then they're finding these crumbs almost. And then they're having to go out of state on their own dollar, driving to get pictures that are from some of these people that are being named in these documents, Facebooks. We're not going to name the names here, but they are being named. They are naming names in these documents. I'm sure you've already all seen them. I've went and looked at some of these, one of these individuals' Facebooks, and there's some disturbing stuff on there. They're clearly into Odinism. At least they were during this point in time. And I think it's interesting now. They don't really post anything like that now. But in 2017, they were 100% into some Odin shit, into this Nordic culture.
Yeah, and if you look up some of those runes, there's really not one that looks like this. If this is what it looked like on the tree. I mean, there is one that looks like an F, but it doesn't look anything like this. It's not even close. I mean,
and they can be, again, the picture I have right here, again, we're calling it an F because that's what's in our heads. That's what we've kind of already been led to believe. If I seen this and I didn't know anything about this case at all, like, what do you see here? I don't think I would say an F.
Right.
L coming through here with the $4.99. Thank you so much, L. Appreciate that. Love it. Love it. Thank you, L. Appreciate you being through here tonight. L's an OG here at Publicly Buzz, guys. OG. But yeah, man, this has been a wild ride here. Again, let me just make sure I don't want to show anything crazy. I did want to show this. Hold on. Now, this was pulled from Court TV as well. I'm doing the right order. This is them kind of describing the scene here. I'm deciding whether I want to show this or not because it's kind of graphic the way they're describing it. I'm going to show the second part here. The first one's a little bit more graphic than this one. Abby found fully clothed, dressed in Libby's sweatshirt and jeans. Abby found wearing 2 bras. No blood on Abby's clothing. Very little blood on Abby's body apart from the fatal wound on her neck. Libby's phone and shoe found under Abby's lower back. And again, before we went on the air here, a lot of people have been asking the question, could one person have been responsible for this? I'm more on the side, at least thinking about it, I'm on more of the side that I don't think it's possible. It's 100% possible. Let's not just go crazy, but I totally think there would have been more involved just from reading about everything that had to have happened. I mean, he had an hour and a half-ish, hour 17, whatever it was, hour 15. But I mean, it still seems like a lot was going on here, from the point of actually interacting with the girls, however, whether it was with a firearm or however, that would be what I would imagine, getting them down the hill, across a river, in the middle of February, completely soaking wet. Again, Richard Allen is also they bring this point up. He's a small individual, 5'4", gets across this river and then has to commit the crimes. And then all of the extra stuff, all the disrobing, whether he got them to do that themselves before, again, trigger warning, graphic details here, but whether he got them to do that themselves before what happened, or, I mean, it seems like a lot for one person to actually pull off. Again, what do you think about that, Dan? I think you're kind of.
I think it's possible. I'm not saying I think that that's what happened, that one person did this, but I do think it would be possible for one person to do it, especially controlling with the gun and stuff. But I mean, it's a lot. We talked about the timeline, before we went on air, and you said it was 1 hour, 17 minutes. I mean, that's a lot of time to work, for one person. So I think it's possible. Now, again, I don't know. I don't know if it was done by one person, but I do think it's possible.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I don't think that it's. I think being in true crime and seeing the crazy cases that we have seen, it's definitely not impossible, right? We've seen some wild ass shit that has been proven. I know I'm not even talking about some of the stuff that we've covered here. I'm kind of thinking about Idaho, but some of the stuff that has not been proven, but actual wild cases that blow your fucking mind. And when you step back and you go, "What the hell?"
Like you brought up Idaho, I find that one more hard to believe than one person because the timeline's so short, right?
Way shorter, right?
But it's possible. I think it's possible in both those cases. What happened, or the theory that's being presented is possible.
And I'm kind of looking at my notes here as well. God, I have so many notes, guys. But so the theory of that this isn't ritualistic, and what they were trying to do with the leaves and the limbs was to potentially cover the crime scene. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
If you're going to do that, you're going to at least do it a little bit, unless he was spooked. But what would have spooked him, right? You've taken the time to go this far into the woods. You've distanced yourself enough to where most likely people on that trail is not going to hear you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to start the process of covering these bodies with limbs and sticks. And again, there's the way that they're explained anyways. Of course, we haven't seen these actual pictures. It seemed very particular the way these limbs are positioned, and even the bodies. So yeah, I can't really get behind that theory of that they're trying to whoever is trying to cover up the scene, because I mean you would do a better job.
Yeah, I completely agree. They're not even. It's like I mean, it looks like what the defense is saying. It looks ritualistic. It doesn't look like they're trying to cover it up.
Yeah, and I think initially, and everybody wants to kind of go back, and there's an opposite side of this as well. Of course, as always, people are going to throw dirt on this because it's coming from the defense, right? The burden is on the state to actually prove all this stuff. And a lot of people are wanting to say that, the defense is throwing mud on this essentially. And they're going to have to dig through more shit. But man, when you dig back and you actually look into this, and I think I would be on that train if it wasn't for these police officers that were initially digging into this, and they were convinced that there was something else going on here. And I don't know if it's laziness. I don't know if they just, 5 years later, we've got to figure something out, in these 5 years, they didn't pursue the potential cult-like situation at all. And then again, and 5 years later, they're like, well, let's look back into this guy, Richard Allen. And they said, let's fucking do this. I don't know what happened.
Even they admitted that they believe more than one person was involved. And in fact, we know more than one person was there because there's two different police sketches. Completely different people. Yeah. Right. So where's the other guy?
Yeah, we know that there was more people there. Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah. And here's something that's interesting. The defense team is we haven't even gotten to one of the craziest parts of this yet, but the defense team is wanting cameras in this courtroom. All right. That's not something that we're hearing anywhere else. The defense team is basically screaming for transparency in this. Okay. Now, why that is happening is that potentially what the fuck is going on actually inside of this prison, guys. Now, one of the craziest things to me when I was reading this, and when I brought this up to Dan, I had to actually reiterate it to Dan multiple times because he couldn't wrap his head around it.
I didn't understand who you were talking about because
I think he thought that I
couldn't make sense. Yeah,
saying it. Yeah. And I was like, no, listen. It's the actual fucking security dudes that are taking him to his meetings with the defense team that are wearing patches on their uniforms. Again, now here's something that kind of gets muddy on this. The only thing we have from this right now, we don't have any, I don't think they took any photos, right? We just have eyewitness testimony. We just have eyewitness from the defense team that they seen this when they went and actually seen Richard Allen.
Yeah.
That kind of hurts a little bit, but at the same time, that's fucking crazy.
Well, and on top of that, he can't go anywhere without them. Even when he's meeting with his lawyers, they're there.
They're with earshot.
Apparently, they're watching his lips to make sure he's not saying anything. That's
the only thing.
How are they proving that? But I mean, I don't know. But
the only thing,
if that's what they're doing, that's insane.
That's the shit that really blew my mind. And then they're reiterating basically that when they do talk to him, he's asking about his wife and his family, or is my family okay?
All he ever says. Yeah.
Why would somebody be saying that? As if they're possibly being threatened daily. And we've all seen the photos of this man. And there's one of the most fucked up things in the last hearing when they were trying to get this man taken out of the maximum security prison, when Bob was there in person and seen Richard Allen, and he was talking about how, and we've seen the pictures, how disheveled he was, the long 1,000-yard stare that Richard Allen has. That is, he's not been even to trial, and he's serving in a maximum. That's fucking crazy. There's are a lot of details in this that really don't fucking make sense. That are messed up, if you ask me. Even before you get to the weird shit. Now, how about some of the, and again, I'm not naming names, but how about some of the individuals that are named in this paperwork? But some of the confessions, we have literal confessions by individuals that say they did this deed, that they committed these murders.
Right.
Okay. Coming from, I think a girlfriend, again, I'm not going to name a name here, but essentially somebody was interviewed, I guess in the early stages of this. This is 2017 when they were possibly still looking into the Odinism aspect before they completely abandoned that. Dropped this individual back off at his home. He turns around, comes back to the car, and says, if you guys find my spit on one of these girls and I can explain it away, will I still be in trouble? Okay. The police officer went and told that to his commander, and I don't think anything was ever done.
Yeah, how? How is that not investigated? That's insane.
I think it was a girlfriend that said that one of these men borrowed her car around this day when this incident happened. She gets the car back, and the car has a lot of dried blood on it that took many car washes to get off. He would not explain where this blood came from. Now, this is something that is just theorized by the defense team in the paperwork, but it's still interesting because apparently there's a lack of blood at the crime scene. So they're theorizing in this paperwork that did they take the blood with them? Whoever the fuck did this.
Yeah, that's odd because of the way they were killed, right? There had to be a lot of blood. So where is it? Why is it not at the scene? That's odd.
Yeah, you think there would be an absolute, horror show there, right?
Yeah, well, there would have to be.
So what? That don't make any sense unless they were killed somewhere else and they've never found the original location, and then he pulled them back there. But
true.
And they have talked about how the bodies were definitely moved post death.
Yeah. I did see. So Elle came through with her 6-month
let me
comment.
get down through here real quick. Let's take a little breather here.
Odinism is a legit thing. This came up in my real life. I'm a Southern Baptist. We have former members who turn to this, and it's a legit thing. So.
Oh wow, Elle coming through. Also 6 months.
And I don't doubt that there's Odinists, if that's what you call them, out there. But like, how is it like? I don't know. Again, I need to do more research into it to see like what they're about. Like, do they do weird stuff? Like, not even murder type stuff, which I'm sure that's come up before too, right? Some other Odinist type crime scenes, which I think I've even heard about. I think they even mentioned it on Court TV there. There was the expert they had.
Oh shit! Threads is really close. Rushville. Some of the individuals that are being named in this are from Rushville.
Oh shit!
Like that's right next to Delphi.
Oh wow.
Shit, Threads. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying.
Oh, what? That would be crazy, Strict on Steve-O. I believe there is a video of the guards wearing the patches. If there's a video, if the defense team can get that out there, holy shit.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Right? Complete True Detective vibes. If anybody hasn't seen the first season or any of the seasons, season 2 isn't the best, but season 3 is a banger. Season 1 is, I talk about Twin Peaks on the show all the time. It's my favorite show. True Detective season 1 is right there. It's so fucking good. And it eerily does ring to what we're hearing now. Holy shit, there we go. Toyo Toys, I'm special with the 1 month. Thank you so much. Always making those awesome videos.
Yeah, for real. Those are always hilarious.
Got a party in here tonight. Thank y'all so much. Everybody hanging out. Please hit that like. Helps us out here. Helps us get us into the old algorithm on YouTube. Please share this out with your community. Let people know that you're hanging out with Publicly Buzzed Live. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to be here tomorrow night for Feral Friday. On Friday nights, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we do something called Feral Friday. The last few Feral Fridays, we've been interviewing the hell out of people is what we've been doing.
Yeah, lots of guests.
been having a lot of guests on here. So tomorrow is no different. I don't know if Documenting Austin, if Jamie's still hanging out in here. I've been hanging out with Jamie on Twitter. Awesome guy. He's doing the damn thing, folks. He is another one of these guys that has quit his real job and is doing it out here, documenting a lot of different things in Austin, Texas. And yeah, we're going to have him on here tomorrow night talking about the potential of a serial killer in that area as well. He documents a lot of different things, the homeless out there, the crime out there. But yeah, please come by tomorrow night and hang out. Again, it's a little bit of a later show, but it's always a fun time. And of course, I'm just doing a little bit of plugging right now. Take a little break here. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Murder Church. Something we do here called Murder Church. We're going to be going into week 18 of the Jeffrey Dahmer insanity trial. 18 weeks, folks. That's a long fucking time. I'm yet to actually miss one. Hopefully that's not going to happen. So yeah, and I have a lot of fun in Murder Church. Murder Church is dope, guys. We've grown immensely through Murder Church also. A completely different type of show for us. You know, we do a lot of these breakdowns. I do a lot of interviews. Do a lot of fun shows on here. When I first started Murder Church, I wasn't sure if it was going to work out, how it was going to feel. I know that Jay had been doing the trials, and it's good. It has a cool feel to it. And again, I think it's kind of a unique thing, a classic trial. It's cool. Hopefully everybody can drop by. But again, I'm going to throw this out there again, guys. Tuesday, you're not going to want to miss the members only show. Let me go ahead and get a thumbnail up here for you real quick. Oh yeah, there he is. That's Jamie, everybody. Please give him a follow on Twitter and on YouTube. He's wanting to get out here. He's already making videos on YouTube as well, but he's definitely wanting to keep growing, and he's the fucking man. He's a good dude. I like that guy a lot. He's been really cool. But yeah, let me get you guys just a little teaser. Just a little teaser. Okay. Has anybody heard of Juka? I think I'm saying that right. Juka Lindholm. Okay, the serial strangler. Okay, let me just pull this over here real quick. And I've shout out to none other than Stevie Irwin for making this thumbnail. So I wanted to get with Stevie. I make all the stuff here. You know, usually Stevie kills it and does the best work ever. He is amazing. But this one, I wanted to basically, every Tuesday, I wanted to have a color scheme. I wanted to make this look sort of the same vibe to it. So we're calling it Twisted Tuesdays, Chronicles of Untold Crime. And yeah, the very first one is going to be on an absolute sick individual from Finland, the only Finnish serial killer that's ever been documented. Make sure I come back and see that well. But I'm excited to bring this one to you guys. It's going to be a wild story. Again, shout out to Stevie Irwin. Let me put his name there in the chat. But you guys are going to want to be on board for this because I'm going to be doing pretty in-depth dive on this, guys. This is it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a lot. I put a lot of work into this. This thing has a script, and yeah, I'm again shout out to Stevie Irwin again. Tuesday night, members only first, and the next Tuesday, and this is gonna be a regular thing every Tuesday, every 2 Tuesdays, right? There's gonna be a new members only live. The following Tuesday is gonna drop that for the public, an edited version. So yeah, please get on board with that, my friends.
Yeah, that looks cool. I never heard of that guy.
Yes, that's what I'm going for. I'm making a list of killers. If you guys think that you have a killer, mass killer, serial killer, any kind of killer, put it in my email, publiclybuzzed@gmail.com. Let me know. You might have one, and I'll put it on the list. And because hopefully this will become a thing that I can keep up. It's a lot of work. I will say that. That's why it's going to be a 2-week thing, because honestly, I could have probably presented it this Tuesday, but I want to make sure I have it. I want to make sure it can flow live, because I'm essentially making, here's what I wanted to do anyways. I want to make videos on YouTube that are, edited ultimately. So what I'm trying to do here essentially is to tell this story live to a camera. Then after, I can edit this and make it an actual video about this guy's story that I will put out to the public. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Up through here real quick. Yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Appreciate it. There we go. Sarah coming through. Take a little break from this heavy stuff to talk about Murder Church with Jeffrey Dahmer, right? No, we do have a lot of fun in there. I was talking about this with JB earlier as well from Documenting Austin, covering true crime, and we talk about this on here all the time with Jay. You have to have a little bit of fun, I think, guys. This case we're covering tonight, absolutely horrific, horrible. We want justice for these girls more than anything else. I feel terrible for these families. You kind of have to have a breather from time to time because it's just a lot, man. It's a whole lot. it gets to you if you let it. Uh-oh. Crime Sleuthin'. Now, that's what I like to see. Coming through Crime Sleuthin'. Give her a follow. Let me hit you first of all with one of these. Crime Sleuthin', I just learned about that channel yesterday. She made a video as well on Delphi. It's good. Check it out. I shared that on Twitter. But yeah, also thank you, Crime Sleuthin', for becoming a member. I think you're going to dig what we do here on Tuesdays moving forward. It's going to be something giving back to you guys. You know, again, we're still going to do the one stream a month for you guys as well, but every Tuesday, guys, you're going to want to be on top of that shit. Beers in the chat also. Anytime we get some new members, get them beers flowing, guys. Let me throw a couple in there myself. Boom. Crime Sleuthin'. Represent. Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Give me one sec here. Let me look at my notes. See if there's anything else I want to touch on this. It's just an absolute... Oh, yeah. Hold on. I wanted to show a couple of things. Hold on. You guys can probably tell just been going crazy with this.
Yeah,
but
I thought there was another point or two to make, but I can't remember what they were right off.
Oh, you might figure it out in this. Yeah. I know you were watching some of this Court TV stuff as well. First thing I wanted to show here, let me get my note up here. I don't want to fuck this up.
Oh, damn. Crime Sleuthin' also donated 5 memberships.
Whoa, holy shit. Let's get that out of the way real quick. Crime Sleuthin', what are you doing, girl? Holy shit, thank you very much. First of all,
big.
Who's going to get these things? Oh, Jamie pulled one out. Documenting Austin. Jackie Smith. Oh, shit, the beers took me away. La Sleuth. Fat Baby Toodles. Fruit Fly. Welcome, baby. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I like to
nice.
see. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Thank y'all so much.
I don't hear any sound bites, or I don't wonder if the chat's hearing them.
Oh my God, I bet nobody's hearing them. Yep, it's not even on there. Jesus! They've been hearing nothing. Well, I have a lot of sound bites to make up. You hear that one?
Nope.
Well, if you're not hearing that one, I don't know. Huh. Are you guys hearing those? Hopefully they are. Actually, I don't think they're coming through. Weird. Well, normally there's sound bites, guys. I have to figure that out after this one. But yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Crazy. I do see those beers flowing, though. I do see those beers are coming. Wow. All right. So yes, real quick, let me make sure I get these names right. I don't want to fuck this up. We're professional over here, baby. Publicly Buzzed Live is a professional stream. I'm not sure if you guys know that or not. Ritual murder expert, Don Polmurder. Okay, first time I've heard of this lady, and this was interesting. Let me make sure I got the sound right here.
Jacksonville State University and host of the incredibly popular Body Bags
podcast.
I like Joseph Scott Morgan. And in Pensacola, Florida, private investigator Lauren Vellucci is with us. What we are learning from the defense here, does this strike you as a ritualistic murder scene?
Well, I just have to emphasize that I did not observe any of the photos. I only have the information that I read and the descriptions. But I can tell you from what I've read, this is a classic ritual murder. I've worked on dozens of these types of homicide cases. Ritual homicide involves acts that go beyond the actions necessary to conduct the crime or elude the police. This is not a counter-forensic measure. You don't do all of that just to hide the body. It has all of the elements. It has symbols at the scene. What you're not taking into account when they're looking at the shapes of these branches. And by the way, ritualistic crimes are typically outdoor crime scenes because they're nature-based ideologies. But when you're looking at the symbols, you need to account for the shape of the body underneath it when you're interpreting it. You're not just looking at the sticks. It can be the entire thing, and it has meaning to whoever did it. I really do not think it's random. The other thing is obviously the cause of death.
You know, that's really what makes me want to, I mean, it's sensationalized, it's wild, whatever the hell you want to say, but when you actually hear the way these limbs and the way the positions, the bodies were positioned, it does seem occult-like.
Yeah.
Odin,
Yeah,
like
I see it.
Odinism,
Like,
whatever you want to say, but
I don't think we can really steer away from that at this point because of the way that's described. I mean, and
I
now we've
agree.
seen, you know, artistic depictions of what was described, and they seem accurate. So we can't get away from it. I'm never going to believe that he was trying to cover up the bodies and to hide them.
yeah,
I'm never going to believe that.
and I don't understand how the police initially got away from digging deeper into this.
Yeah.
Especially when we know that they were interviewing some of the guys that with some of these Facebook pages and some of the things that were being said and shown in some of their pictures. Like, and again, I'm not saying that those are necessarily 100% incriminating, but what I'm saying is that would lead you down this road to where more questions should be asked.
Yeah, it's either shitty investigation work or maybe there's a conspiracy going on here. I don't know.
Right now,
Weird, though.
It does seem a little real like a crazy conspiracy in this little area.
Is significant. In ritualistic crimes, you do not get gunshots. They're always typically knife wounds. And there's always things that are done with the blood. And in this case, obviously a secondary scene, but blood, whether it's blood spatter or what was on the tree, it seems that this was not random at all. Body positioning is very significant. And as I said, it will have some meaning to the person who did it. In terms of Odinism, which I'm very familiar with, it would be consistent with racist Odinism, which is very popular, has been popular among neo-Nazi skinheads. And
So yeah, even though we're saying Odinism, they're saying it's almost like been hijacked by white nationalists, right? That are taking it down a much darker road.
Yep.
An even darker road. I just said that. Real quick, hold on.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Ashy Snow, cheers, friends. $4.99. Boom. I'm not gonna hit you with anything. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. I'm a bad. I'm sorry. No sound
He's doing
effects
acapella tonight.
tonight. Baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. Boom. There it is. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But Ashley, thank you so much. Absolutely amazing. You're killing it out here, all you guys.
But yeah, that brings up another point that I forgot about earlier was maybe these girls were targeted because one of the girls' parents was dated interracially, right?
Right. Yeah, that has been theorized as well.
If this is the white nationalist group, practicing Odinism and doing these ritualistic sacrifice or whatever this is, whatever you want to call this, maybe that's why they were targeted.
Yeah. I mean, that actually would lead credence to it because, again, white nationalists are racist pieces of shit. Let's just be fucking real. I mean, at the end of the day, they're here for one creed and culture, and that's being a white guy or a white person, or they don't want to mix races. It's really fucked up. So that actually would lead credence to this already horrible situation that's happening here. And again, I believe it was Abby. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but was dating one of these individuals with the initials BH, who from the paperwork's daughter or son. She was dating his son. Did you know that?
No.
Dude, yeah, dude. Yes, one of these girls. I'm pretty sure it was Abby. Was dating BH's son. One of these Odin dudes.
Wow.
It's the connections, bro. Like, we can argue about it all day, and I get, and we can go down the road of it's the defense trying to, lay doubt that, again, it's going to have to. I get it. But there's fucking so many connections that are weird enough. I think that they should have been at least looked into way more than they were.
You know what I just thought of? This is kind of unrelated to what we're talking about now. But when you said BH, it kind of reminded me of BG.
Libby. I'm sorry. It was Libby.
prison gang since the late 90s.
I'm sorry.
When you said BH, it reminded me of BG, the bridge guy, right? In that video, and we know how tall Alan is, right?
About 5'4".
5'4"?
Yeah.
Short guy. In that video, couldn't we kind of figure out how tall the person walking on that bridge is?
I think it was actually in this video here, and I'm not going to find it, but yeah, it was actually somebody on here was saying, no,
we know the width of the bridge. We can figure out the height of the person.
Maybe you can figure that out. Shit, because basically what they were saying was, That's a good question, dude. If you can figure out the entire width of the bridge, that's interesting, because they were basically saying there's no markers, right? There's nothing to really base the height off of, so we don't really know.
The width of the bridge.
But I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Can you see the entire bridge in the video? Do you have that video like ready to go by chance?
I don't, but it's not hard to find being Google, but it's not that good. Yeah, you don't see much.
If you don't have the full width of the bridge in the video, then I guess you couldn't do it.
So, like, if you found a full length of the bridge later, you couldn't? It'd be hard just because it's not exactly the same.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know how far. Like, you'd have to have the width of the bridge at the point that he's standing on it, and then
yeah, it's terrible.
His height.
It's terrible.
But
let me pull it up here for you.
I bet the width of the bridge isn't there.
It's terrible.
Oh yeah, there's no way. I couldn't remember if you could see it or not. Damn.
That was an interesting idea, though. But I did hear somebody else basically say, there was nothing almost to, like, base it off of.
Nothing you can, nothing you can, the measurement of.
It's horrible.
Yeah, because of the distance from the camera, I mean, you really couldn't. It would be hard.
There's one more scene in here I wanted to 3405. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I want to get the question on that too from Vinny.
What's going on? I can't hear anything.
Oh shit, my bad.
Why they attacked these particular girls. I mean, that's part of what they're laying out there as potentially what happened here. Does it make it less plausible that there haven't been other attacks in the area? Like a group, would they just kind of go after one particular victim and one off, and that's it? We don't see bodies all over the place?
No, that it's quite possible and plausible. I mean, there are groups like this that not only ritually murder, they ritually rape women. They're active. They could be doing it in other places. I guess what I'm trying to say is this does happen, as bizarre as it sounds. There are ritual murders, and a lot of these racist Odinists are growing. They are recruiting, and they're part of this like warrior tribal. They identify with that ideology. So it's very plausible, and I think again, this is without seeing any of the not seeing other evidence. And it is plausible to me. That
okay,
happened.
Fair enough. Our guest.
I really just wanted that to be out there again. I like this lady. I'd actually probably really enjoy her books, or that book that they showed earlier. Dawn Perlmutter, yeah, ritual murder expert. So, a lot of people, when you start having these types of conversations, they will be like, what are the odds of that, right? Mm-hmm. Come on. Like, really? Like, in this day and age, or, whatever they want to say to kind of, like, throw that off the back burner.
Yeah.
Dude, we live in such a fucked up world. Like, I honestly, and I keep making this point almost every video now, it seems like, since we're in the true crime community, but how many stories daily now do you see in the news that are just like, people chained up to beds, people that are held captive for long periods of time? We're just seeing a small portion of this, folks. Yeah. Sadly, I think.
Well, there's a lot of it going on that's
will never be discovered, or I mean, who fucking knows, dude? So, like, when I really do hear stuff like this, I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around because we don't live in that world.
It sounds unbelievable,
right? It's
crazy.
It does seem like a movie, but I mean, this shit happens. There's people out here that. I mean, weren't raised right, for lack of a better statement. I mean, these people there are lots of different people can be twisted in many different ways. And again, if you get into something like a cult like type aspect, whether you want to call Odinism that or not, maybe there's people out there that practice it that don't. I'm sure there are, and then there's people that will take something like that to a whole nother extreme, whether that's they've convinced themselves in their own heads that they can get goodwill from these things by pleasing a god. I mean, we lived in an absolutely messed up society and world, just the entire planet Earth all over, not just here in the United States, all over, guys. So when I do hear stuff like this, it's hard and it's almost like takes you back because you're like, how could this, but it happens, man. It's messed up, but it does happen. Right here, fucking a YouTuber, Ruby Frank, literally just got caught in jail right now. Her and this other YouTuber, their kids were fucking tied up to their beds. These were like, did you hear about that one?
No.
Like, yeah, these are like, not only was she a YouTuber, she was like a YouTuber telling you how to raise your kids and how to be a fucking good parent.
Oh my God.
And dude, one of her kids fucking escaped, got to the neighbor's house. She'd been starving these fucking kids, bro. Like,
that is so crazy.
Shit's fucked, man. Like, it's crazy.
She's a YouTuber telling you how to raise your kids. Well, that's crazy. Wow.
Viv, if she dated BH's son, wouldn't she recognize BH on the bridge? Would she video someone she knew? Well, it almost seems like that maybe she started the video after maybe the altercation and, fear it was already induced, possibly. But I don't know that, Viv, of course.
That's something else that's odd, right?
That's a good question.
They didn't, they had to, they had to not know that she was videotaping or they wouldn't have left the phone behind, right?
Right. 100%. Yeah. Because that phone was laying on the ground and they were both derobed. And yeah, there ain't no way he didn't see or know the phone was there. That's there's no way.
And if she started taping after the incident started, then he's going to take the phone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to be like instantly break it, throw it in the water, right? Like,
because if the incident hadn't started yet and she starts recording him, well, he doesn't know that he's being recorded, right? Maybe she's just looking at her phone. Maybe she's being, smooth with it. She's not making it obvious that she's recording somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like that's kind of what was happening.
That's what I believe, because I don't want that. They wouldn't have left the phone behind.
100%. And how brave is that in the moment, right? Like,
oh God, yeah. Like, she did everything she could, man. She did an amazing job, and unfortunately, it hasn't been enough to this point because we can't confirm who's in the video. But she did what she could, and that's, that takes a lot of guts.
Hey, Lisa, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Really appreciate it. That's awesome. Yeah, I know we go a little late here, guys, sometimes. We're a little bit more of a later show, but really appreciate everybody for hanging out. I got one more clip before I let everybody go here tonight. I do want to show, this is a clip from Joseph Scott Morgan talking. I think this is the spot.
Investigator and private investigator Lauren Vellucci. Joseph Scott Morgan, your thoughts, could one person have done all that the defense is saying was done here?
Well, I didn't know that height was a qualifier for that. They're really going out in the weeds on that.
Well, one reason they said that is they said the water could be 3.5 feet deep in the river, and he's only 5'4". I think that's one of the reasons.
There are other places the river could be forded. And so to me, the big thing here, though, is control. And how do you control someone, particularly two young girls like this? My thought is with a weapon. And, we heard about the clicking of the weapon being actuated and that sort of thing. And one key here, Vin, is that they found a round, an unspent round, at the scene, which is a .40 caliber, actually, just like the one I'm holding. This is unspent, just like the one they found, but they're saying that there are striations on it. There are a couple of laws on the books that I know as, former prosecutor, you're very well aware of across the country. It's a term called menacing. And how do you menace someone? Well, if you've got young women, young girls like this, they're not expecting to be, encounter some monster out in the woods. Well, one of the ways you menace an individual to get them to comply is that if you're carrying a firearm, this is a dummy firearm that we use at JSU for training, but if it's a semi-automatic weapon, you charge the weapon like this, and it's a very intimidating sound, particularly to these young girls. Well, it's intimidating to me. And you present this weapon, and they're already in a lost, cold place. Remember, down the hill, and he's directing them down there. If he's planned this thing out already, if he's got a location that he's going to, we know that they've recovered knives, these sorts of things. Maybe those limbs were trimmed. I have no idea, but he's perhaps nested in that area, just waiting for this opportunity. Yeah, this could be a one-man show. You're not talking. He's not dragging, you know, an NFL lineman down there. All right, you're talking about 2 young girls that he's doing this to. Allegedly.
I 100% agree with him there. If you have a firearm, you could take 2 grown men down there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be 2 young women, 2 young girls. You take me and you down there, somebody pulls up, you know, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in that situation, but a gun is going to put fear into somebody.
Yep. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, man.
You either do what they say or you're going to get shot. I mean, maybe not, but that's the fear that they're putting into you. They're making you believe they're going to shoot you if you don't do what they say.
I really like the way he kind of put that out there because, yeah, again, I keep hearing how could one person do this? And again, I'm under the part to me that the parts to me that makes me think that there's somebody else involved. I think that is how much was put into the actual crime scene. But what he is saying here makes 100% sense as to how they could get the girls down there initially. So yeah, it's a lot. I'm gonna keep going through this, keep digging into this. I'm in now, guys. This one is fucking wild. There's so much going on in the crime world. Seems like every single day there's a new thing just going nuts.
Yeah, I want to dig into the Odinism thing. Look at symbols and maybe other crimes that have been linked to Odinism. That'd
be cool, actually. That'd be interesting. I know that's almost like a Feral Friday waiting to happen.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't think, it could change in the meantime, but I don't think the next Feral Friday I have anything booked guest-wise, so maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll dig into Odinism and see what we can figure out. That's a good idea, because, again, that's almost the only aspect of this. Not the only aspect, of course, but what we have... this lady here who was an expert in ritualistic killings, that's who you have to go through now. You have to go through these experts, through the news system, essentially. So, yeah, we're going to do a little bit of digging here and see what we can maybe dig up and find on this Odinism stuff. I like that. Everybody hanging out here tonight. Thank y'all so much. Really appreciate it. Had a full house here for Publicly Buzzed Live, baby.
This case has got people interested. After this information came out, it's a wild one.
Yeah, I put a lot of work in the last couple of days, guys. I was wanting to make this as succinct and concise as possible, and just getting as much information out there. Again, not only into my own brain and to figure out more about this case, because again, like I said earlier, I wasn't 100% in on it. I knew some of the details through Bob, who'd been on this. Been on this show actually talking about it. I know he's been into this 100%. He's boots on the ground, man on the scene at this. He's going to be there, I'm sure, the next time he's in court. He will be there. So, yeah, we will be staying on top of this. Hopefully the next time that happens, we can get Bob on here after it happens, and he can give us a breakdown on what's going on in person as well. But, yeah, right now, shit is fucking crazy, and I don't know what else is going to be going down, but the state and the prosecutor are going to have to answer this. They're going to have to come out and make some kind of statement eventually. So,
yeah.
See Sam coming through here. Thank you very much. Sam, appreciate it.
And the fact that it was being investigated initially anyway doesn't help them any, I don't think.
Just Debbie, first time here. Love it, Debbie. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Dan, what?
The fact that they were investigating it in the beginning anyway doesn't help them at all, does it?
No, dude. It seems like what they were on in the beginning, they were way more right. What's going to suck, though, is if we get down... I mean,
is CrimeCon tonight?
CrimeCon is happening. Yeah, I think Bob's there now. I think this is the opening night for CrimeCon. Cool. So, yeah, he's doing... Okay, tomorrow, Bob Mata, Defense Diaries, is doing his first ever live stream, guys. I'm going to put that in the chat here just so you guys can be ready. 2 p.m. Eastern Time, if I think that's the correct time. He's going to be going live from CrimeCon, and it's going to be fucking dope. You're going to want to be hanging out. Let me see if I can get this up here real quick. Yeah, here we go. They already got it upcoming. Hell yeah. Let me post this link in here. real quick. Boom. I think this will be the one. He's got 2 links in here. Hopefully it goes live on this one. Boom. 2 p.m. Eastern Time, live from CrimeCon, Defense Diaries. Make sure you're following Jay as well, guys. Tomorrow, I'm sure Jay is going to be hanging out as well on the old YouTubes in the morning. I'll probably see you all in chat. Yeah, J-Bo Nation, J-Buzz Nation, we're doing the damn thing, making it happen. Make sure you stay tuned for all future content, not only with Publicly Buzz Lab, but also the Defense Diaries and the Shaming of Jay. Well, guys, we will see you tomorrow night, Fail Friday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be going over, again, some information with Documenting Austin. Jamie Hammonds, who is, you'll probably see him on Fox News on the regular. I know he's been doing a lot of different TV stuff, and he's doing the damn thing again. He is in it to win it, and we're going to be interviewing him again on the potential possibility of a serial killer in and around Austin, Texas. They're calling it the Lady Bird Lake Killings. A lot of individuals have been, all men have been leaving a bar, and when they leave this bar, they end up dead in a lake, and right now police are saying that these men are drowning. I think there's been 5 this year, and 20 or so since 2008. It's a lot.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot. Seems like something's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you guys. Thank you all so much. We're going to turn this thing off for real. I'm the worst at it. I'll just keep talking all night long. I'll keep plugging, baby. But you guys are amazing. As you head out the door, please hit that like again. Help us out as you head out, right? And again, I know, Just Debbie, new here, baby. New here. Anybody new here, please make sure you turn on all notifications for when we do go live, that you will get notified by YouTube, guys. Make sure you're following on X. Make sure you're following Dan on X as well. Everything. Thank you guys so much, Dan. Thank you, brother. You got anything to add?
I got nothing. Good night, everybody.
Let's do it!
See, we shoot them up bang bang over here. We not scared of they motherfucking ass.